You won't find a happier man in Washington, D.C. right now than Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. As head of the Senate Judiciary Committee, he presided over the hearings that just delivered a third Supreme Court justice for President Trump, Amy Coney Barrett. He's had a big week for the conservative cause, and we hope he has an even bigger week next week when he wins re-election in South Carolina. Senator Graham, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you, and I am a very happy man. I feel like the world's off my shoulders because given Kavanaugh, Tony, you never knew what they were capable of doing. Judge Barrett made it through with flying colors, and I want to thank you and your listeners for the prayers and the support. I've been on your show many times, and I could do it. I know that all of us sitting up there, Republicans, we had Amy's back and you had our back, and it was just a great day. It's time to count our blessings. We have a lot to be grateful for in the last 3.5 years.
Well, Senator Graham, the Majority Leader, Senator Mitch McConnell, before the vote made very clear that a lot of the things that the Senate does will be undone or possibly forgotten. But this is one of those things that has a generational impact, and you've been a key part of seeing these constitutionalists placed onto our courts. This is a big issue coming up in next week.
Yeah, so transformational is the way I would look at it. We've transformed the court to have every middle-of-the-road person should be pleased with a Judge Barrett because she will not impose her will upon the nation. She will look at the law and the Constitution and apply it to the facts. Liberals hate that idea. They want judges to finish out the liberal agenda when it fails at the ballot box. Very activist in nature, trying to get outcomes, and words and statutes and constructs of the Constitution are only impediments to getting outcomes. So the country's in great shape with the court that we have today. But if we lose next Tuesday and the Democrats take the House, the Senate, and the White House, they're going to undo this all. Whether they pack the court by expanding the number or come up with some goofy idea of rotating judges, the concept is to make the court liberal and undo the conservative majority we've created. So the job is not done until we make sure we at least hold the Senate and hopefully, God willing, get President Trump reelected.
Senator, I've been in Washington now over 17 years, and one thing I have learned is when the liberals, the leftists, make a claim that they're going to do something, I actually believe them. Because eventually they will see it through. And as they have talked about repeatedly over the last few weeks of packing the courts, trying to dilute the effort that was put forth by this administration and by the Republicans in the Senate, based upon the last election that gave them the authority to do so, I believe that they very well may do that.
Oh, they're going to do some form of it. Joe Biden's along for the ride. All the energy in the Democratic Party is with the Bernie Sanders on economics and AOC and the squad on structural changes. Biden's in a box. He can't say yes to packing the court because he'll lose middle America. He can't say no because he'll lose his left flank. So he says, we'll talk about it after the election. When it comes to this group, you need to assume the worst, that they're going to change the structure of the court, that they're going to make D.C. a state, they're going to abolish the Electoral College, which means that only a couple of states really matter that much in terms of electing the president. So we should assume that they're telling us the truth. And here's the good news. There are enough people in this country to stop them. A lot of them go to church. Everybody at your church, if you're listening in a pastor, you need to make sure that people understand the consequences of not voting. Not voting is the same as agreeing with this agenda. If you have a chance to vote and you're eligible to vote and you choose not to vote, that's a vote in and of itself.
You're absolutely right. I've been traveling around the country. I was in Georgia actually last night speaking to a group of Baptist pastors, heading back out on the road to Florida. What I'm actually seeing is actually quite encouraging. I think the polling is not reflective of what's happening. I do believe you're in a close election. The president's in a close re-election. But I'm not believing the polls because I don't think they want to encourage us to see this across the finish line. But I want to ask you the one final question, Senator Graham. With the re-election of Donald Trump, what does the next 4 years look like for our country? What are we going to be able to accomplish?
From a conservative point of view, it would be a dream come true. 4 more years of picking judges. We're up to 220. We reshaped the court at the circuit level, at the district level. We've put 3 constitutional conservatives on the court, Supreme Court. 4 more years means that you'll pick at least 1 or 2 more justices, which would take us into decades of conservative Supreme Court justices, judiciary. It means the military, you're a Marine, is going to be in the hands of a commander-in-chief that will make it strong and allow us to win the war and secure war when we can. It means lower taxes. It means continuing to secure the border, finish out the wall, and fix a broken immigration system rationally. If we lose, they're going to open borders, free health care for illegal immigrants. It means lower taxes. It means a government in the hands of business people versus activists. From the pro-life perspective, it means that 4 more years of the most pro-life president in my lifetime, in your lifetime, I think, quite frankly. The bottom line is I'm excited about what would happen to this country if President Trump could get another term and we keep the Senate. I'd love to take the House back, but when it comes to judges, just the Senate and the White House gets you to where you want to go. And we've seen with a Senate and White House, you can do a lot of good. The commander-in-chief matters. I know you're a military guy. 4 more years of a strong president, that means the Iranians will not get the benefit of the Obama deal. He'll stay out of the deal. For Israel, it means that they will have the best friend since Harry Truman to our friends in Israel. It means you'll have a president who has our friends in Israel's back, and God blesses those who bless Israel. It's transformational. It means school choice. It means that we'll have a president pushing school choice so that poor kids throughout the country, their parents will have a chance to send them to the best school, not to the ones that the teacher unions dictate. So I'm excited about it. I think he's going to win. I pray that he wins. I sense things on the ground in South Carolina, and I know this is a conservative state, but people are on fire here to vote for the president and to get me reelected. I see it moving in the right direction. But to everybody out there who's got a friend at church or friend at work, educate them, get them to the polls.
Absolutely. I agree with you in terms of the excitement of the next 4 years. And let me just say this in closing, Senator. I mentioned, the great work you've done on the courts, but you've also led in the Senate on the life issue and as well as religious freedom. Very important issues and where I think we can see great gains, additional gains, I should say, in the next 4 years. So, Senator, thanks so much for taking time to be with us.
Well, Tony, you and your team really matter. You've had an impact on the court. You've had an impact in getting our agenda done. I think you're at the top of your game, and I say that with a deep respect for what you and the FRC has done. And now's our time. Let's get it done. 1 more week.
All right, Senator, thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.